Okay, I am joined today by Vince Everett Ellison to help me go through some of the biggest stories in the news. Vince, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, Stephen, you know it's a pleasure. I love you and I love the audience.
When you're not on Tucker Carlson, I appreciate that you make time for the show. I always enjoy
Anytime.
our conversation and getting your insight. There's a big breaking news story that Judge Juan Merchan is going to force President-elect Donald Trump to come to New York City and to basically, they want to sentence him for the 34 felony counts of supposedly this affair with Stormy Daniels that he faked and, this whole big story. Why on earth would they bring President-elect Donald Trump in? He has immunity as the president. Do you think that they're going to try to jail him, or is this procedure, or is this just about continuing to try to shame and humiliate him in the mainstream media?
I think it's the latter. I think this is going to try to humiliate him, shame him. It's sour grapes. He won the election. He beat them. This is the only thing they have to try to humiliate the man. I mean, he's going to have this great inauguration. He's going to have this great rally before the inauguration. The American people love him. He went to France for the opening of the Notre Dame Cathedral. The people all over the world are saluting him and applauding him. And they just, this is their one parting shot. It's just low down, cruel people, man. And they just have to deal with the fact that the American people have rejected their crazy, leftist, lunatic, perverted ideology. And they have, and we buried progressivism and we buried the Democratic Party, but they're gonna still try to do a lot of dirty, nasty stuff before they go. And it just shows who exactly these people are, man. And that's why they're out of power.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the American people saw through this. So to me, it's like, why would Judge Juan Merchan, who's already under a microscope for his daughter raising over $100 million for Democrats, he's already under a microscope. Why would he even do anything? Why wouldn't you just say, listen, just like the other 5 cases against Donald Trump, we're going to dismiss this, we're going to move on. Instead, they're saying, we're going to force you to come to New York. You're going to stand in front of me, and I'm going to try to shame and humiliate you. Just such a waste of money.
Well, look, man, I've said before, Stephen, and you heard me say it over and over again, that my life experiences have shown me that the Democratic Party is the evilest institution in the history of the world. They were the party of slavery from 1800 to 1860. They're the party of the Confederacy from 1860 to 1865. Now they're the party of Jim Crow from 1865 to 1965. And now, they're the party of abortion up to the 9th month. Now, they even believe in perinatal abortion. They voted against the Born Alive bill to save children if they survive abortions. So, yeah, they believe in perinatal abortion. Joe Biden just took Tennessee to the Supreme Court because he wants no limits on transgender operations to children. Yeah, these are sick people, man. Kamala Harris just beside a man on the dress and says she's going to use federal money to make sure that men in penitentiaries can get transgender operations, so then they can go into women's penitentiaries and rape women. These people are crazy. They took the Bible out of the library and put porn in. And when the people started saying we want the porn out of the library, they said, you want to ban books. They ain't saying they about banning books when they took the Bible out. This is who they are. And I know, like you, I'm not surprised. They are not going to quit. They're going to keep on coming at Trump. They're going to keep on coming at you. They're going to keep on coming at me. But we're not going to be defeated. These people are horrible, and American people will figure them out.
Yeah, I believe that they're on to them. But that was a breaking news story. Wanted to go over with you. Help me understand this. I was just reading this, a couple of days ago. But data shows that of all the different races and communities in America, and we are a big melting pot, the race and the demographic that did the worst under President Obama was actually the Black community. They then contrasted that with the same data under President Donald Trump, and the Black community thrived, did the best under Donald Trump. Is this some of the reason why there was such a big shift in voting towards Donald Trump, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would say so. But you know what, Stephen, has been weird. Black people have never done well in America, and they've always been under the control of the Democrat Party. This isn't strange for black people. Not doing well under the Democrat Party? How much worse could you do than slavery and Jim Crow? I mean, that's the thing, they controlled it. This is what they've always done to black people. You go to the ghettos. Hell, you've seen them. Detroit, Chicago, LA, Democrats run them. Black people vote them in. So that might be part of the reason, but the biggest reason why black people turn on the Democratic Party is that the Democratic Party stopped lying about two things. They stopped lying about being for abortion up to the 9th month. Well, actually, three things. They stopped lying about LGBTQ and trying to transition their children, and black people will see that they were lying about the border, that they were lying all these immigrants to come into their cities, laying on the streets. They're looking at, that they can't find a job, but Joe Biden has just given 400 work permits to immigrants from Venezuela. They're seeing that they can't buy their groceries, but Joe Biden is just giving $4,000 in EBT cards to immigrants. They saw that hurricanes came through and tore up their communities, and they will give an American $750, but they'll give immigrants thousands of dollars. They see that they'll put you in jail if you get caught driving without a license. They'll take your car away if you don't pay your tags. If you don't pay your child support, they'll put you in jail and you lose your job. But these same Democrats will say, you better not try to come in and touch an illegal. We'll defend them with our lives. You better not try to come in and get one of these illegals that's raping and killing and broke into this country. No. We ain't gonna have ICE. We ain't gonna have the FBI. We're gonna tell our police to stand down. And then you look at the fact that little Taquayshawn and Ray Ray and Billy Bob got arrested last week because they was a month late on child support. Or that he couldn't pay a speeding ticket and got his driver's license taken and was driving without a license. They'll put an American in jail for anything. But those suckers will go to balls to the walls to protect their illegal alien. And people looked at it and say, hell no, I'm tired of this. And it just became apparent to people. I mean, you walk into work and you got to just step over illegals. They put them up in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, where inner city black people and white people and Hispanics who are here legally got to sleep in hovels with rat infested and roach infested. And they said, no, this has gone too far. We're tired of it. So some of it might be the fact that, they didn't think they were making the money they were supposed to. But black people have always been poor under the Democratic Party. This year, in the last 4 years, people like you, people like me, people like April Chapman, people like Tucker Carlson, people like Rogan, we went around MSNBC, CNN, the DNC. We went around the GOP, and we brought the truth to the American people, the truth they never heard before, and they responded to it. And you giving people like me a platform on your show, putting information out there that people never heard before, and they responded to it.
Yeah, I think America had a great awakening, like we've never seen before, and I hate that so many people had to live through difficulty in order to have their eyes open. But sometimes it's the only way to actually experience the hardship or the difficulty, so that you go, never again. I don't want to ever be a part of that. One thing that kept coming up from the mainstream media over and over again was Trump being called a racist for saying that illegal immigrants were taking Black American jobs. What do you think that he meant by that? And isn't being concerned that one group of legal American citizens that played a huge role in our nation being hurt by a group of illegal non-citizens, how is that racist? To me, that sounds like concern, not racism.
Stephen, I agree with you. I grew up in the Jim Crow South. I was born in it. My father was a sharecropper. And, he aspired, man. He brought us out of poverty through the insurance industry. and he started a gospel singing group we called the Ellison family. Went around singing good gospel music all around the South, and went to college. And after college, man, I started working in the prison system, and I saw how these Democrats were doing. You know, how they were locking up black men, and they were lying about it, saying it was rich white conservatives that hated black people. So I started my nonprofit, went down to the black community, and like I said, I saw no rich white conservatives down there anywhere. You see a unicorn or a leprechaun before you saw one. But I saw a lot of black Democrats down there making a lot of money out the chaos. And I wrote my first book about these jokers called The Iron Triangle. They're most black preachers, most black politicians, most black civil rights workers. And they were conduits between rich white liberals and the Democrat Party. And I'm gonna get to your question. And this is to answer your question. These jokers' job is to make sure that they keep the black vote by hook or by crook. They're the ones that the black people support and trust. They're the black preachers. They love the black preacher. I mean, Pastor Chicken Wing with his greasy, no good, dirty behind, can't tell, they believe him. Then there's the black civil rights workers. Oh my God, they love the civil rights. They love civil rights. The racial overcome the civil rights movement. So anybody that was involved in that movement is supposed to be heralded as, unquestionable. And then you got the black politician, the black Democrat. Joker ain't no good whatsoever. But he's gonna walk up to you and tell you that every dadgum Democrat you hear is a racist. And so these people lie. And they're the ones that go and tell the black community Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump is a racist. They don't have any proof, any evidence whatsoever. But because they say it, it carries weight. And they know that when you call a white man a racist in the black community, especially if he's a white conservative, especially if he's a white conservative Republican, and these three entities say it, and these white liberals give them the money to take this and say it, it carries weight. And it takes a lot to turn black people away from it once they put that moniker on you. And they've been doing it now for the last, maybe 12 years on Donald Trump now. Racist. And you and I know Donald Trump has done a whole lot of things for all Americans, including black people. But when these people who have so much credibility in the black community come out and say it, and most of them are the worst people walking the face of this earth. I mean, the Democratic Party is a party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. And now you can add three more, like how they always adding people on the end of LGBTQ, IA and all these guys. You can add three more to perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots. You can add thugs, hoes, and rappers. Because when I saw Kamala Harris step out there, and all she had around her was a bunch of hoes, right? And look, don't get mad at me, because Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, they call themselves hoes in the song. If you listen to the song WAP, they started out talking about they hoes, okay? So they say they hoes. Kamala Harris walk up and have them all in her campaign twerking and speaking, and she comfortable around them. And she comfortable around all these thugs and all these rappers and all of these murderers and killers, right? Jay-Z, P. Diddy. And I want to say now, I don't call the Democrat Party the Democrats anymore. I call them the Diddycrats, because they more like P. Diddy than they are like the old racist Democrats back in the old days. Yeah, you need to call them the Diddycrats too, because when they release all those tapes of the Diddy freak-offs, you're gonna see a bunch of Democrats doing with all that baby oil and all and doing all that nasty freak-off stuff. That's them, man. They're crazy. All those nasty perverts that hung out with P. Diddy. P. Diddy raised more money for the Democrat Party than George Soros. Him and Jay-Z and Beyonce, hell, they was running the party. So from now on, the Democrat Party, it's not the Democrats, they're the Diddycrats. They crossed over. They got strippers, they got hoes, they got rappers, and they got convicts and thugs that are now running the Democrat Party. And it's one of the funniest, most awful things I ever saw in my life, to have Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B giving speeches for the Democratic Party nominee. Like they scholars from Harvard or Oxford or something like that. Bunch of strippers and hoes out there giving speeches for the Democratic Party. But that's who they are. and immoral, perverted, sick party. And if they see anything good, they hate it. And because Donald Trump is doing something good for the black community, they hate him, and they're gonna try to run him out.
Yeah. So both candidates during the election cycle were heavily endorsed by Black Americans. I made a list of all of the people that Donald Trump paid for an endorsement. The number was 0. But then you have $11 million to Beyonce, $2.5 million to Oprah, Al Sharpton secretly taking in $500,000, not telling MSNBC. Now Trump is calling for these people to be investigated because they basically lied to the American people that these were true and good endorsements when in fact they were secretly paid for endorsements. What are your thoughts on no paid endorsements versus millions and millions and millions of dollars of paid endorsements done secretly?
Look, if you are a hoe and a thug, you got to be paid. That's a definition of being a hoe. You got to pay her. So, they don't love nobody. You gonna walk up to Cardi B and and say, hey, will you do this for me? She gonna say, where your money at? That's what hoes do. And Kamala Harris know the game because you know what she was doing in the 90s, right? Willie Brown's side piece, hanging out with Montel Williams. Judge Joe Brown said that she was a hoe. He said it, I didn't. Don't get mad at me. A bunch of folks in San Francisco said they called Kamala Harris was out there being a hoe. Now, I don't know if she was a hoe when she actually got married to Emhoff. That's none of my business. But I do know this. She seemed very comfortable around them. And she knew how to play the game. And so Kamala Harris, having probably been an old hoe back in the day, when she came up to Cardi B and Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion, she knew she had to pay up. And Al Sharpton, oh, come on, man. You remember when they came out and said that menthol cigarettes, that cigarettes were killing everybody. We all know that now. Cigarettes, bad for you. But they found out that menthol cigarettes were harder for people to break the addiction to because they had that kind of menthol thing to it that made them more addicted. Well, these menthol cigarettes were mostly being sold in the black community. Newports, Cools, and stuff like that. And so it had become cultural in the black community. So they told the Biden administration, look, these menthol cigarettes killing a lot of black folks. And within the next few years, they look like they're going to kill between 300 and 600,000 black people. So you need to ban these menthol cigarettes in the black community. Well, Joe Biden was just getting ready to do it. And guess what happened? The menthol cigarette manufacturers called Al Sharpton. Yeah, him again. Reverend Justice, and said, we need you to go down to the black community and do some PR for us to get the heat off of us when it comes down to these menthol cigarettes. So they gave Al some money. But see, Al was trying to be slick because he didn't want the NAACP and the rest of them to jump on him. So he got Eric Garner's mother, the guy, I can't breathe, and George Floyd's brother, and corrupted them and had them go into the black community. So that they could tell black folks to tell black politicians to keep menthol cigarettes going. And sure enough, they started a little campaign that said, if you ban menthol cigarettes, we're not gonna give you the black vote. And Al Sharpton was behind it. So they told him 300,000 and 600,000 black folks was gonna die if they didn't stop menthol cigarettes. And Al Sharpton said, and where's my money? So obviously black lives don't matter when it comes down to menthol cigarettes in the black community, right? And Al Sharpton is behind it. My point is Al Sharpton is a menace. He has always been a menace. He's a no good, slamming, no good, now which I could cuss on your show. He's one of the worst people that ever walked the face of this earth. And the Democratic Party are filled with slamming, no good jokers like Al Sharpton. And that is why I call it a party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, thugs, hoes, and rappers. And this is why we defeated them. People finally figured it out. And you know what, Stephen? I just don't want to beat them. I want to dig a trench 1,000 miles deep and bury them under concrete to make sure they never raise their heads again. We're going to take them suckers out.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, going back to the Trump's a racist thing. Isn't it racist, actually, that Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago was flooding black neighborhoods with illegals? He wasn't sending them into white neighborhoods. He wasn't sending them even into Asian neighborhoods, specifically targeted the black community. And then the mainstream media, they do no press on the fact that he was destroying the black community with illegal immigrants. Some of them, which have been there, the black community members have been there 7, 8 generation Americans. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, it's not just racist, which it is, you're correct. It's also good politics. Because Brandon know black folks ain't gonna do nothing about it. You know, it's like if you're a bully and, you know, and you're a coward, you can always pick on the small kid in school, right, and beat him up because you know he ain't gonna do nothing about it. The kid that you know you can slap around because every day you slap him around, take his lunch money and push him around, you know, he's not gonna do anything about it. That's what cowards do. You're not gonna mess with the kid that fights back. You're not gonna mess with that big kid in the corner that if you hit him, he's gonna knock you through a brick wall. No, you're a coward. You're a coward. And you're going to pick with the people that can't fight back, the single mothers, the poor, the uneducated. And Brandon understands it's good politics because these people, no matter what you do to them, they're so beaten down. They think so little of themselves. And a lot of them, they're going to vote for you anyway, and they think they have no choice because you told them they have no choice. But see, if they try to do that to me in your neighborhood, they know they got a fight coming. Oh, they're not going to mess with us. They know better. They know that they're gonna leave that situation with some teeth missing and some broken ribs. So they don't want that fight. So they'll deal with the low hanging fruit. The people who cannot fight back. The people who have no politician that's going to back them up. They're cowards. They're bullies. They're racist. But you know what they found out also, Stephen? It's good politics. These people are going to vote for them anyway because they have such low self-esteem. They feel so disenfranchised. They hate themselves so that they'll vote for somebody like Brandon Johnson, an evil Democrat, because they look at themselves and they say, that's who I am too. I don't deserve any better. And that's a shame. And that's why people like you and I are here to convince them that they deserve better and they need to fight for better.
Yeah. Have you, I know you go around to churches and help educate people on slavery, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jim Crow, all of that. Have you ever been into Chicago, or do you mostly stay like in the Southeast? You
know what? I spoke at the University of Chicago February this year.
Okay.
And had a great time there. When I go there, all the protesters who either come to my speeches, they either are converted or they will not show up. You can't stand in front of me and talk about you need DEI and I'm a black man from the South, from the Jim Crow South. And I'm going to look at you and say, so you trying to tell me you're inferior, boy? Yeah, you right. You are. You're a slave. Tell me you need DEI to compete in America. When me and my brothers not only competed in America, we've excelled in it. I tell you what, you let them put that DEI thing on your chest, that scarlet letter, and you walk into my world, I'll slit your throat. Figuratively, in the business world. You wouldn't survive 3 days with me and my brothers. We'll stomp you down to the ground. I can't compete. And you gonna call yourself an American? Go on somewhere, get to the back of the bus, put on a skirt and some rouge and tell everybody who you are. You're a soy boy, punk Democrat, beta male. And by the time I'm finished with them, they're done. They're right. They say, you're right. You're correct. Because the one thing about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, the one thing to make you know it's no good, you know what it is? If you tell any black person in America, ask them if they're DEI hire, they get offended. No, I ain't no DEI hire. Hell no, don't you say that about me. Every last one of them, nobody wants to own it. They asked, somebody asked Kamala Harris if she's a DEI hire. She got mad. Oh, who you calling a DEI hire? You know why? Because everybody knows. If you're a DEI hire, that means you didn't earn it. That's what DEI stands for, Stephen. Didn't earn it. Mm-hmm. And that's what, and whenever you call a black, I tell you what, you try it. Walk up to your black friends, call them DEI hire. You better have your guards up to fight. They don't want to own it. And yet Democrats are trying to push that on black people every day. And black people say, I don't want to be called no DEI hire. If you call me one, it is a fight. That's why it's dead. Nobody wants to own it. No black person wants to own it. They will fight if you call them that. So these white liberals who want to come out there and they want to tell you, we're the good people because we're going to give you the crumbs that fall from our table. And you got young black people like, old civil rights black people say, yes, sir, boss. Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. Yes, sir, boss. You got younger black folks that I don't want your crumbs. I want the whole damn table. Now you're playing in the game. Don't want your crumbs. I want the whole table. I'm like T-Rex. I don't want to be fed. I want to hunt. Now you got yourself a game. And these liberals still don't understand that. And these old black civil rights workers don't understand it either. But these young black people in America, they're the ones that are coming up. They understand it. And that's why the Democrats are losing their support in the black community.
Do you think over time the Democrat Party is going to shrink but become more aggressive and vocal?
They're going to start lying again like they did in the 90s and the 80s. They're going to try to tell the LGBTQ and the abortion people and the climate change people and the open borders people, look, y'all. We lost our election this last time because of y'all. Now, we want y'all to give us y'all money, but we want y'all to go back to the back again so we can start talking about racism and feminism and how we can help end racism in America and da. And these people ain't going to want to go. I mean, they talk about they didn't talk to the working man. Yeah, they talked to the working man, and you heard them loud and clear. They told the working man, we want to use the educational system to sexually groom your child, and he said no. They told the working man said, hey, prices of gas is too high. But then the climate change folks said, well, we ain't going to let you drill. And the Democratic Party sided with climate change, and the working man heard it. The working man said, we don't want all these illegals coming in, taking our jobs, raising rents. Invading our space, going to school with our children, and our children can't learn because the teachers now got to teach them English first. The working man said that, and they asked open borders people with George Soros. They said, no, you keep those borders open. Working man heard it. Yeah, man, the working man said, we don't like all this crime in our community, all this fentanyl, all these illegal coming in, raping women in the parks and killing them, setting folks on fire, sex trafficking. The working man said you need to stop. The Democratic Party said, shut up. We're going to put them in there whether you like it or not. And the working man heard it. The working man said, man, I want to be able to pray to my God whenever I want to. Whenever I want to. The Democratic Party said, no, you not. If I catch you praying outside your home or your church, I'm going to put you in jail. The working man said, all right, I hear you. They got tired of it. They got flat out tired of it. I'm going to use your money to transition children. Give it to inmates to transition them. Yeah. I'm going to use Joe Biden. I'm going to change Title IX so that if a man that look like me and you want to go to the bathroom with 13-year-old girls, locker rooms, I can shower with them. And their daddy better not say a word. Yeah, shower with 13-year-old girls, grown men. That grown man can go into the bathroom and post up and watch your wife and your daughter urinate. And if you say something about it, you go to jail. Now, people got tired of it, Stephen. The American people got tired of it. And the only way the Democratic Party is going to win is that they have to disavow climate change. They got to disavow LGBTQ. They have to disavow abortion up to the 9th month. They got to disavow not allowing school choice. They got to disavow open borders and sex trafficking and fentanyl and taking your guns away and allowing people to practice their religion. They can't do it. The Democrat Party is done. They've reached a high water mark in America. They are done. And we're going to keep on gaining on them and gaining on them until we stomp into the ground. And hopefully some other party that's got some common sense is going to come out of their death.
Yeah. In the Bible, when it says, beware not to call good evil and evil good.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw this story, but it was very disturbing to me. Over in England, this is how you know England has fallen. Over in England, the police were called. They said, hey, we found 2 little 13-year-old girls naked and drunk in a house full of Pakistani men. We believe that they've been violated. The police went in there and they arrested the children for drinking.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? Like, man, I'm telling you, evil looks good and good looks evil. But you and I, we got to keep reminding people that there is good and bad, and they have to avoid the bad. It's crazy to me that we live in times like this.
We have to keep telling the truth, and we have to keep this thing as binary as we possibly can. See, they want to pull out a gray area in there, make it all subjective. And we got to say, no, right is right and wrong is wrong. What is a woman? She has an XX chromosome. What is a man? An XY chromosome. But what if? Ain't no what ifs. That's it. But what if? No what ifs. That's it. Parents have a right to raise their children. Well, what about the state? Does the state know? The parent has to say so. But what if? No what ifs. I have I have a right to pray to my God whenever I choose. Well, the state says, I don't care what the state says. I have my right. But what if? No what ifs. Life begins at conception. But what if? No what ifs. See, we have to keep telling the truth when they say, well, a lot of these people come in and confuse. Gender is fluid. No, it's not. What was he born as? Well, he was born as a male. Well, then he's a male. What was she born as? A female. If he's a female. And they are, and then they're reared into their gender roles. That's how they learn them. You teach them. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Let's learn the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not bear false witness, honor thy mother and thy father. Binary. Instead, all of this subjectivity. Because these people understand that as long as they can keep you confused, they can control you. But when you start telling people again, right is right, wrong is wrong, I'm not going to argue with you. All this foolishness about the whole pronoun thing. Me, my, you, your, it, they, all that foolishness. Men using women's bathrooms. Man can walk up to you in a dress like that ugly woman that worked for Joe Biden. That wasn't a woman. It was a man in a dress. Rachel Levine and Sam Britton. And those stupid Pete Buttigieg. Then the little girl, the little John Pierre girl. All these freaks at the White House. And if you go up there and talk to them and Rachel Levine come up to a man in a dress, if you don't call him her or ma'am, he will try to get you fired. An ugly man in a dress. They're going to walk up to you and say, hello, my name is Rachel. And you do. No, I'm not. I'm a woman. Man, go on somewhere. These people will tell you that men can have babies. Yeah. If a woman that wants to be a dude, say she a dude, but have a baby after you get down with a dude, that a man had a baby. Tampon Tim from Minnesota. You remember the governor that was Kamala Harris's running mate? They called him Tampon Tim because they wanted to put tampons in the bathroom of little girls who might forget, when they get on their cycle or whatnot. And Tampon Tim said, well, we got to put them in boys' bathrooms too, because boys can menstruate also. And you say,
never seen it.
What? Yeah, boys can menstruate. Boys can lactate. They're crazy. And we have to start looking at those people and stop trying to debate with them and say, no, you crazy. It's a little white girl. I was at University of, I think it was Westminster. I was at a university in Pennsylvania giving a speech about DEI. Little white girl gonna stand up and tell me that she had superiority over me. She gonna look at me and tell me she had superiority over me. And instead of trying to tell her how I was equal to her or superior to her, you know what I told her? I said, you're insane. And then she started crying. I said, you've lost your mind. You're insane. You have no superiority over me. None. Zero. And if you think you have it, you're crazy. And the whole crowd was like, ooh, you can find it online. And all she could do was cry. I said, somebody been lying to you, baby, because you ain't got no superiority over this black man right here. And all these black folks have been telling you that it's done you a disservice. And all of you white folks in here that think that you're superior to me, show me the man superior to me. I'm a child of God. I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. Nobody's superior to me. I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. I'm a child of God. I cannot be oppressed. I cannot be a victim. I was born free. You don't give me my freedom. I defy you to come take it from me. And as you tell people that and they understand the concept of not just America, but how America is attached to the Christianity and the truth. And we as men, it is our jobs now to make this thing as plain and as binary as possible. And when these idiots speak, we put them in their place. No, men are men, women are women. Look at the birth certificate. That's how you know. Next question.
Are you familiar with the comedian Jim Gaffigan?
No, not really.
No, okay. He's a pretty funny guy. He hosted the Catholic dinner that Kamala Harris refused to go to in New York.
I remember that.
Yeah, okay. So that guy. So he recently came out just in the last 48 hours and said that he feels really bad that he neglected the MAGA community. And after getting to know them, they're pretty much like him. They want to raise families and make money and have a safe country. And here he was believing that they were like crazy Nazi Christians. I mean, do you think that that's genuine, that people, because I've seen this from multiple people lately, where do you think that Donald Trump broke the dam and people realized, oh, wait a minute, these are just Americans like me? Or do you think that they're going, oh, crap, they're in charge for 4 years, I better pretend to care?
The liberals know the truth. They know it. And this is why they have to lie to the rest of the American people to say we can never let the American people get to know who these people are. Because if they do, they'll like them. So they lie on us. I'm an Uncle Tom. You're a racist. So they lie on us. And they keep their constituents isolated in the ghettos and tell them to not watch your show and not watch Tucker Carlson. Tucker's a racist also, as you know. Don't watch Sean Hager. Sean's a racist also, you know. And they tell these people to listen to Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley and all of these black liberals that come on the radio. Listen to this rap music from Jay-Z and P. Diddy, who everybody's a victim, right? Listen to LeBron James, who's probably a billionaire, but he's a victim. You know, all of these black guys in the NBA who all probably supported Kamala Harris, and the NBA is losing, like they said, 48%. They lost about 40% of their viewership in the past few years. You know why? Because every time you watch it, it look like a jailbreak. It look like a bunch of thugs that just broke out of prison. It looks like a ghetto high school reunion. And don't nobody want their children looking and acting like that. You know, when I was growing up watching basketball, you had Dr. J, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Guys played the game, you know, and they were elegant. They played the game well. And you look at these guys now like a bunch of tatted up thugs. And a bunch of victims, all of them kneeling for the flag, crying about what they don't have, a bunch of millionaires. And the American people tuned them out. Just tuned them out. Don't want to have nothing more to do with them. And it's the Democratic Party on display. People are tired of that foolishness. They're tired of being taxed at 50%. They're tired of giving away so much of their money that there's an obesity problem amongst the poor in America. And they still complaining. Everybody got an Obama phone. Everybody got a place to stay. Everybody got free medical care. Everybody got free school. And nobody ever says thank you. And then they're going to look at America and call it racist. And you fat on government cheese. You can go to the doctor anytime you want to. You can talk, text, anytime you want to. Got illegals coming in doing the job because you won't do it, and you sit back and get everything you want for free and won't even say thank you. Matter of fact, won't just not say thank you, go look you in your face and call you a racist because I want more. And right now, Stephen, if you ask them what more do you want, they can't tell you because they got everything that they've been asking for. I mean, what you want now? You want a new Cadillac? I mean, what? They've gotten everything they've asked for, and they're still angry. Still angry. You know why? Because Martin Luther King said, we'll never be satisfied. Never. Because as long as you hate yourself, and nothing nobody else can do for you, and consistently, every single solitary day, that's what the Democratic Party tells the black community, to hate yourself for being black. You're black, you're poor, you're ugly, your country hates you, you can't do nothing. Sit down and just take the crumbs that we give you. And they say, you're right. Fight amongst yourselves, kill each other. And then they send Al Sharpton and Joy Reid up every day to reinforce that. And if you want to know the contempt that America has, that liberal America has for black folks, you just look at Al Sharpton and Joy Reid. They put those two buffoons and idiots up there every day to tell black people what it is to be black in America. And as always, us can't make it. Give us the more, it's called sweet poets. We just pitiful. And white people are oppressing us. They make me sick. And they stink in my nostrils.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, let me ask you this final thing, because this caught me off guard. I don't know if you saw this or not, Vince, but Kamala Harris, she comes back in as the head of the Senate, as the vice president, getting ready to certify the election of Donald J. Trump, get ready for the inauguration. It was her honor and privilege to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. They left her microphone on. She doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. She messed it up 2 or 3 times. I pledge allegiance to the United States.
Oh my!
Like she just couldn't get it right. How does the vice president of America not know the Pledge of Allegiance?
She's always hated this country. She's always hated it. She saw herself as a catalyst to tear it down. You know, she always looked at it as a place to be destroyed, not a place to be affirmed. See, people like you and I look at the Constitution and say, okay, what does it say? This is what we live by. They look at the Constitution and say that document, we need to find a way around it. It needs to be torn up. They hate this country. That proves it. They hate what this country stands for. You saw that when the young children at her rally said, Christ is King, she said, you at the wrong rally. Go to the one down. Instead of saying, thank you, young man, correct, Christ is King. No. You at the wrong rally. And then it with a smirk and a smile, demonic smile on her face. And then the people at her rally started clapping. See, that's the America that she hates. And America was established on these Judeo-Christian values. Like we said in our declaration, what does it say? Our rights are unalienable rights. They come from God. At the end of the declaration, they say that we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. They say that divine providence, which is God, they say it in there many times, will lead us through this. And these people don't believe that. They don't believe in divine providence. They don't believe in God. They've tried their best to destroy him in this nation. So when you have a pledge of allegiance to say under God, oh, you know, Stephen, all of our lives they've been trying to get that out. One nation under God. Not these people. They won't say it. They hate the pledge. They're not going to give up an allegiance to the United States of America, the country that they hate. Communists and Marxists who've pledged to destroy this nation, they're not going to pledge to take care of it. No, Kamala Harris thought, man, she could smell that victory. She thought she had it. But there's something really evil and sinister about that woman. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I got a father and you have a father. I love my father tremendously. And just like all sons and fathers, you might have had your little spats with your dad, you know, small ones, you know. But me and my dad, inseparable. If I'm running for president, I don't care if me and my dad had a fist fight the day before. He gonna come on the stage and support me. I got the Republican nomination for president. I'm my father's son. It's an opportunity to take our family perpetually into the stratosphere. You put all personal things aside, don't you, Stephen? And you stand together as a family. Kamala Harris' daddy won't have nothing to do with it. To this day, won't have anything to do with his daughter. Man, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And this is not a stupid man. This man is Stanford University professor emeritus. Extraordinarily intelligent man. And this man will not have anything to do with his daughter. One of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, I don't know what it is, but it tells you there's something very, very dark and very, very sinister about this woman, amongst other things, like starting her presidential campaign at an abortion clinic. God, man. I mean, I don't want to just hear the babies being dead. I want to see the babies being dead. Making LGBTQ a pinnacle of your whole campaign. Transitioning and cutting up the body parts of children. This is insanity. Against school choice, allowing the borders to be wide open. Bidenomics is doing fine, and people, you know, under Trump was making $1,400 more than they were under Biden. Bidenomics is doing well. So yeah, I would have been surprised if he did know the Pledge of Allegiance. I would have been surprised. I would say Kamala Harris knows the Pledge of Allegiance. She probably knows the pledge to the Church of Satan. I bet she know that. She could probably tell you that one in her sleep. But that's the Democratic Party. Again, and I want your listeners to remember this. The Democratic Party is a part of perverts with the leadership of the party is a cabal of perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots. And then add to this, after Kamala Harris came and let the hip-hop culture take it over, this last campaign, thugs, hoes, and rappers. And the party need to just go down to a strip club, the next DNC, and put a bunch of stripper poles out there, let it rain with the money, serve drinks, and let it look like a burlesque show. Because that's what all these freaks and morons are. And because we figured them out anyway. But let's go ahead and just show it. Look like the bar scenes from Star Wars. They're crazy. And I'm going to call them crazy every chance I get. So I always enjoy being with you, man. You got one of the best shows on YouTube. You got one of the largest audiences. You're doing God's work, and you're educating the American people. And because of you and people like you and Tucker and Rogan and all of them, MSNBC, CNN, and the rest of these jokers are bleeding. They can't keep up. You are the new media. And keep it going strong, man, because I love you and I love your show. I watch it every day, and you keep it real. And as long as you do that, you're going to keep on growing.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Well, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on. You've got a show here on YouTube. What's the name of that so I can put a direct link for people to find it?
Yeah, man, it's the best Everett Ellison show. We were doing one show a week last year. We're now we've been doing like four per week. So we're adding much more, content. Hopefully I'll get close to you one of the days, Stephen. I mean, you got close to 2 million subscribers now. So we just started out. We're going strong, man. Thank you for that. I would hope that as many of your viewers as possible could just click on that link, check out my show. I guarantee you will enjoy it. We bring the heat just like you do, and the people will definitely get it. It's a lot of fun, and we give information that most people don't hear in a way that they usually don't hear it. But check it out. I'm sure they'll appreciate it and they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely. I know they will. Okay. I'm going to put a direct link to that down below, as well as your books. I think people should check those out. Vince, Everett, Ellison, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Stephen. You're a good man. God bless you and your family.